And hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? Hey, how's everybody doing today? Tom and I switched it up a little bit this week due to the holidays. Spending some time with family, have family coming in. So we're going to do it separate, at least today. I think Tom already focused maybe on Thursday and Sunday, or maybe just Sunday. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to look at Thursday, and then I hope maybe on Friday we can reconvene and bring you Sundays and Mondays games. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to take a whole lot of time here. I'm just going to kind of run through the three games tomorrow, tell you who I like, and the direction that I'll be going in, and maybe give you some ideas of how you want to go. Starting at quarterback, three categories there really. Great matchup, decent matchup, awful matchup. Three guys I'll be building my lineups around are Mark Sanchez, Stafford, and Romo, and probably in that order. I like Sanchez the best, not necessarily because I think he has the best matchup, but he is the cheapest of those three. So using him, you get to save a little bit there. Stafford, I like a lot too at 7,200. He's 400 more than Sanchez. Chicago is dumpster fire right now. Detroit's at home. Stafford seems to always show up on Thanksgiving. Megatron looks to be at full health maybe. So I think Stafford maybe presents the most upside of any of the quarterbacks this week. I think he'll be in, if I were to make 10 lineups, let's say, I'd probably go Sanchez in like 5, Stafford in 3, and Romo in 2. I think you want to get special those 3. The one reason I'm a little hesitant on Romo, I think maybe he has the best matchup, and he's been on fire lately. Philadelphia has horrible pass defense. As you can see here, they're ranked 32nd. I just want to save maybe that 400 or even 800 picking Sanchez and put towards some of these guys we're going to talk about in a little bit. I think this is a week where you go with Sanchez or Stafford, save a little bit of money there, and you can use it towards your running backs and wide receivers. And we talk about where you want to pay up this week, but I think that's where you want to pay up. Cutler is kind of he's got a, he could go in here. Not a great matchup by any means. It's on the road. And Cutler's looked really bad lately for the most part, except for, it was 2 weeks ago. He had a nice game. But I don't know if I can, to me, strictly GPP. If you want to kind of differentiate, I think he'll be lower owned just because of his struggles lately. Get him in there and maybe in a GPP lineup and just hope. But again, you go 100 less and go Sanchez. Russell Wilson, I want to avoid the Seattle San Francisco game just because those games, to me, are always like 17-13, 19-16. Nothing excites me. Not a whole lot of offense there. It's going to be a defensive battle. They're all coming off a short week here. I think you're wise to basically, load up on your Stafford and Sanchez shares here and get Romo in a couple lineups if you're making multiple ones. If you're making one lineup, I think Stafford Sanchez is your best bet. Looking at the Wishbone Classic, I think the highest ownership will be probably between those two. So now if you want to be contrarian, Wilson, Cutler, or contrarian, I still think Romo will probably have high ownership as well. As far as running back, again, you can pay up here. I'm going to pay up at the wide receiver spot this week, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Forte's prices come down. Finally, he's under. Not only did he drop under 10K, he jumped under 9K. Maybe it's because of the short week, and he's going up against Detroit, who has, as you see here, it has him ranked 7th. But to me, they're a top 3 run defense. I don't care what the 7 there says. He's still Matt Forte, so he's got an opportunity, to produce. He's got some upside. But I think there's just better options below it at cheaper with better matchups. If you're going to pay that much anyway, you might as well just pay for Murray. I think he's a lock for a touchdown this week. He hasn't scored in like 3 weeks, I think. I think he's almost, if there's ever been a lock for a guy to get a touchdown, I think this is the week. So if I'm paying up, I'm going Murray. Probably your better bet though, and your better value is 1,000 less. You can go with LeSean McCoy. And now, if you go with Sanchez, you're pairing up the running back and quarterback there. So maybe you go McCoy if you go Romo or Stafford. And then if you go Sanchez, then you go Murray. But I just don't see myself paying up for like Forte and Murray or Murray and McCoy, because there's a couple guys down here below who present a lot of upside and I think are in good matchups that you need to save so you can go with wide receiver here. Marshawn Lynch is kind of a steal at 6,400. I know it's San Francisco. If I'm taking anybody from that game, he's the one guy that I show that I have any interest in. I don't want anything to do with the quarterbacks. I don't want anything to do with the wide receivers really because of the quarterbacks. So Lynch, I think, if you can pair Lynch with like Murray or pair Lynch with McCoy and still be able to get one or two of those stud wide receivers in that we're going to talk about. I like Bell. Bell at 4,700. Bush is supposed to return tomorrow, but check out now. I think he's going to get a number of carries. He'll get the goal line. I like his matchup. What I think tomorrow is that Philadelphia-Dallas game you want to get a lot of exposure to, but I also think you want to get a lot of exposure to this Detroit-Chicago game. And I think less people will be on it as compared to the Philadelphia-Dallas. So if you hit on these Detroit-Chicago players, you can win yourself a GPP. So I like Bell a lot. I've been thinking about pairing, McCoy and Bell and Bell and Murray and being able to get into these other guys I really want to get in. Now, the other guy I like down here is Sproles. Now, again, if McCoy continues to dominate like he did last week, Sproles options will be limited. If you're paying the 4,500, you might as well just pay 4,700 for Bell, in my opinion. But Sproles presents a little bit upside there. The other guy I kind of like, a little bit sneaky here, is Hyde. Now, if you look, what Hyde's done here, he is not putting up a ton of fantasy points here, but the way I see it is, Gore's banged up. It's a short week. It's not going to be a lot scoring here, but I think Hyde presents a sneaky upside at 3,000 that you can fit in these other guys we're talking about. I see him as a good little flex play. He could score a touchdown in this game. If he scores a touchdown and gets you even 30 yards, he's going to exceed value for you at 3,000. So I'm going to be getting definitely some exposure to him to get in these other guys. Okay, wide receiver is where I'm paying up this week. I have two guys that are head and shoulders above, and then another guy down here below that I'm going to be pretty much running these three out in every one of my lineups. If my money gets tight somewhere, I can't get these guys in. I might throw in a guy that I'm less interested in, but Dez and Megatron are 1A, 1B. If you could only go with one this week, probably Dez. I like his matchup slightly better. His quarterback's been playing better, and he likes to show up on Thanksgiving Day. So especially if he's getting, was it Kerry Williams over there? That guy is horrendous. So I think Bryant's got a tremendous floor and ceiling this week. Probably the highest. It's tough to say taking over Calvin. Calvin's been banged up. Maybe that's why I'm going Dez here. But I'm getting both in, actually. I'm just finding a way to fit both in this week because I think these are going to be your two highest scores this week. Calvin, again, he plays well on Thanksgiving. He's not looked great. I think people might be off him a little bit, actually. His ownership might be down a little bit. But he's going to – I have a feeling he's going to go off tomorrow. I honestly think if you get both these guys in, you could possibly get 60 points just from those two wide receivers. And that'll get you on the right track to winning a GPP. Pairing them up with the right running backs and quarterbacks is going to be what differentiates the winners from the non-winners here. But if you're going Romo, you're definitely playing Dez. If you're going Stafford, definitely playing Johnson. But if I'm playing either one, I'm still trying to get these guys in. Now, I'm off Macklin just because he hasn't looked great lately. With Sanchez, the move to Sanchez likes to go to his tight ends, and he likes to dump it off to his running backs. He likes Matthews seems to be his wide receiver. So I'm not going to pay up $6,800 when I get Calvin for $7,000 and Bryant for $79. It just doesn't make any sense. And same thing with Golden Tate. If I can get Megatron for $400 more, Tate's maybe a nice little GPP differentiation if you want. But if you want to be different from the crowd, maybe you can go with Tate. But again, those two guys just don't present. I feel like the upside of the other two. Marshall and Jeffrey, strictly GPP for me. Again, not a great matchup. If you're paying, if you're playing Cutler, you can get one of these guys in. But that's probably the only reason I'm playing either one of these guys. Again, it's a 400, 300, flip a coin and just go with the one. They both present pretty much the same upside. I'm off Anquan Bolden and Crabtree. I'm not paying that money for those guys. When I get Jordan Matthews at 57, Matthews is the third guy I really like this week. So most of my lineups are going to be Bryant, Johnson, and Matthews, and I'm just going to work in the players around them. I think those three are your most safe, your highest floor, your highest ceiling at wide receiver this week. I just love them, and those guys are in lineups. The only other guy I might touch down here below 6K, and Matthews presents great value at 57. I mean, I don't know how it continues to be under 6, but especially with the other options you have out this week, I think you get him at 57. Terrence Williams is the only other guy I'm considering here at 39. One thing that worries me about him is the broken finger he's going to be playing through. But if he's listed as probable, so that means he's probably better than they thought he was going to be, and so I really like the matchup here. So if you can't get in one of those guys, or you go strong at running back or something like that, I think Williams provides the best upside at less than 5K. I think much better than Crabtree, Baldwin, Riley Cooper, any of those guys. Really, 4 wide receivers I'm maybe looking at this week. If I'm going crazy in the GPP, I might go with Marshall or Jeffrey. But you're going to be pairing up one of these guys with the quarterback to go with anyway. And really, I'm just telling you, really try to get Bryant and Megatron in there together. You're going to love what you get from it. All right, tight end. Pretty much looking 2 ways here. I'm either paying up for Witten just because it's Jason Witten on Thanksgiving, and he eats on Thanksgiving. He really does. He's got a great pass on Thanksgiving. And Romo, just to show up together on that day. So that's more of not anything he's done this year, more of just kind of a gut feeling I have there. I like him probably as the highest scoring tight end, but he's also going to cost you the most. I'm not going to pay up for Bennett again. I'm just off that Chicago passing game this week. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel great about it. Now, I might be wrong. Somebody might throw in Cutler, Marshall, Jeffrey, Bennett, and go in a GPP with it. Who knows? But if I don't go with Witten, I'm going to pay down and go for Selleck at 33. He seems to be the guy getting the looks now at tight end. I think it's because they're going with one tight end. He's the better blocking tight end, so he's in there more. And so Sanchez seems to dump it down to him. Probably the better receiving tight end, higher upside is Ertz, but he's truly boom or bust. So if you're feeling crazy in a GPP and you want a guy who's got 15-point upside, you can go with Ertz if you're looking to be safe. I think Selleck makes a fine GPP or catch game play. Same with Witten. Eric Ebron, if you're feeling frisky, but probably not. And I don't like any of the other guys whatsoever. I think they're a waste of your money and your time. Okay. Lastly, defense. This one's tough because I think maybe the guy who wins it, he pairs other things right, but he gets the defense too. And it can go a couple different ways here. To me, the number one play is the Seahawks. And here's the reason why. You got to look at history. Kaepernick has 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in, I think, 3 games it is against Seattle or something like that. He is horrendous against Seattle. Seattle is trying to make a run here at the playoffs. I just think they're going to I think they're going to get a couple sacks, get a couple turnovers, might even get a defensive TD this game. That's going to be a low scoring defensive game. So if you take them at 3,300, I think it's a great pick. Or if you even go the 49ers, because they're at home, you can go with that. Maybe they're the home team. They're going to be the better defense. I have no problem taking them at 3,100. But they're really my third option at defense other than Seahawks. I'm actually probably going to go Lions. Again, I've talked about Cutler. I think Detroit's good for a couple picks this week. Cutler could throw as many as 3 or 4 picks this week. He really could. I might throw none, and Lions might get lit up. So, again, I think it's riskier than the Seahawks, but I think it maybe even presents more upside than the Seahawks. I'm staying away from Cowboys, Eagles, and Bears because I think those three offenses against those guys are going to light it up. So that's it for this week. I am going to throw together one lineup for you real quick and kind of show you what I'm thinking. Let's see. I think defense. I'm just going to go with the Seahawks. It's interesting here. I think we're going to go Sanchez, and then my flex. I talked about Hyde, but I like Williams too. So I think that right there is a lineup that could be successful. Now again, I'm pairing McCoy with Sanchez. So there's some options there. Tweak some things. You could go 49ers D, Carlos Hyde, and then you could bump up McCoy to Murray. I mean, that's an option. But or you could pull Matthews or something. But this has got a lot of guys I want this weekend here. I'm going to post the lineup logic also free if you want to check it out on the website with probably my favorite lineup this week, which might be this one. I might change my line when I post that. But so check that out. But good luck tomorrow. If you're playing, remember, if you refer somebody, you get a free entry into the $20 Wishbone. So don't forget to do that. Wishing you all the best of luck. Hopefully you'll have a good time with your family, have a lot of turkey, and just have a great day sitting around enjoying Turkey Day with your family and watching football. Good luck.